There's an astonishing story in the New York Times today, which just came out a few minutes before this video. Rod Rosenstein, is it Rosenstein or Rosenstein? I always get confused. Rod Rosenstein suggested he secretly record Trump and discuss the 25th Amendment. Now go ahead and look up the 25th Amendment. 25th Amendment is the amendment that allows essentially the cabinet to get together and remove the president if they think he's not fit for office. Rod Rosenstein is the number 2 Justice Department official. He's confirmed by the Senate and an appointee of the president. And he, as a result of Jeff Sessions' recusal, appointed Mueller and is responsible for, to the degree he's bothering to do so, overseeing the Mueller special counsel operation. Now, according to this New York Times story, Mueller had suggested that he record the president. He also, now Rosenstein's response to the New York Times is, I was only joking, but others who were in the meeting said he wasn't joking and suggested also that other FBI, there's the train going by. Rosenstein not only confirmed that he was serious about the idea, but also followed up by suggesting that other FBI officials who were interviewing to be the Bureau's director could also secretly record Mr. Trump. So you had the number 2 justice. Now, this is the New York Times. I'm assuming it's accurate. The Justice Department said the New York Times story is inaccurate and factually incorrect. Based on my personal dealings with the president, there is no basis to invoke the 25th Amendment. Now, the story also recounts he talked about invoking the 25th Amendment with Andrew McCabe, the disgraced number 2 FBI official who was acting FBI official after Comey was fired. McCabe has since been fired for allegedly misleading FBI investigators about leaks related to the Clinton email scandal. I don't know how anyone tracks all of this. I mean, I have a hard time tracking it. I can't imagine what the average American voter thinks of this mess here in D.C. So what does this show? This sounds accurate to me, so I'm just going to riff on the fact that this is largely accurate. Rod Rosenstein and Andrew McCabe, according to the story, Rosenstein was thinking about asking then DHS Secretary Kelly, who is now the Chief of Staff to the President, and Sessions, whether they'd be interested in invoking the 25th Amendment. He's also thinking about recording the President. This is after Mr. Comey, or around the same time, Mr. Comey's caught stealing FBI records of President Trump and writing these CYA memos about conversations he allegedly had with him, and then leaking it to the New York Times. Then you have the number 2 official in the Justice Department talking with the acting FBI director about potentially overthrowing the President of the United States through this constitutional process. This is a crisis. It shows you the Justice Department and the FBI think they're laws unto themselves. And you wonder why there's an out-of-control Mueller investigation who thinks he can harass the president on things that only a president can do, such as fire people, conduct foreign affairs. This Justice Department thinks it's a law unto itself. Rod Rosenstein thinks that he runs the show. He's talking about this with Andrew McCabe. And these are documents, supposedly, that document this material. What a nightmare. I don't know, the president could fire Rod Rosenstein tomorrow. He could fire Jeff Sessions tomorrow for allowing someone like this to run around the Justice Department. Where's that going to get him? The left is going to call for his impeachment. The Justice Department's going to investigate him again for doing his job in removing officials from office that he doesn't have confidence in, like he did with Mr. Comey. And Rosenstein's angry in this story, or was, because he didn't like the consequences of Comey being fired. Of course, he was involved in Comey being fired because he recommended the president fire him and endorsed the idea. And yet he hired a special counsel to investigate the firing that he's a witness to and it was behind. I said it once and I'll say it again. The Mueller special counsel operation needs to be shut down. I don't care how many foreign lobbyists they indict, how many folks they put away for tax fraud or for non-serious crimes that don't deserve a special counsel investigation. But this Manafort investigation is based on corruption. It comes out of an effort by Justice Department and FBI officials to remove the president. So are we going to allow the coup to continue, or are we going to get it under control? So the president has his own prerogatives here that he can take to try to fix the situation. When is Congress going to get a handle on this? Now, Judicial Watch has FOIAs, and you betcha we have lawsuits and other additional FOIAs as a result of this piece to figure out what really went on here. This is pretty serious, and I encourage you to review it. And it puts this deep state thing in context. It's, you know, the left would like you to believe it's a big conspiracy, despite an op-ed extolling the deep state anonymously. Did you see the Project Veritas videos this week? I hope you did. Our friend James O'Keefe has some tremendous videos showing misconduct and seditious activity by officials in the Justice Department, the State Department, and the Government Accountability Office. And it shows you that these officials, because they don't like Trump and have values different than the majority of voters who put Trump into office, think they can break the law and break the rules to get him. The DOJ official, whose name I forget, it looks like she may have misused government resources to investigate people that she wanted to protest. Now recall, this same person was behind the protest. You remember the Secretary of Homeland Security, Nielsen, was, quote, confronted in a restaurant by a lawless mob. She was forced to leave. Well, this DOJ paralegal, who James later got on tape admitting to other potential misconduct, was behind it. Now, Judicial Watch is already on this as always, because we asked for this person's emails and we're suing in court for them. So we've got the deep state going on at the low level, where at the operational level, where you have just your regular everyday government employees who, by and large, and the left and the media will never tell you this because they don't want to report the truth to you about the way Washington really works. The federal agencies largely are populated by liberal Democrats. Now, you can be a liberal and you can be a Democrat and you can work for the federal government. There's nothing in theory wrong with that. The problem is they don't check their politics at the door, and they insert politics into decision-making that needs to be neutral and done in accordance with the law. And then you've got the high-level corruption, the Peter Strzok, who is a top official at the FBI, the Andrew McCabe's, the James Comey's, the Loretta Lynch's, the Rod Rosensteins, who divert their offices for political purposes. Peter Strzok didn't like President Trump. So he was going to abuse his powers as an FBI senior official to launch investigations and spying into him. Rod Rosenstein didn't like the political blowback. So he was going to go and try to record the president. Or, quote, joked about it, and then joked about others recording the president. He's a number 2 official at the Justice Department. He's joking about violating, in a fundamental sense, the trust the Justice Department is supposed to have for the President of the United States. Ask, you know, everyone's running for office now. Ask folks when they come to town asking for your vote, what do they think of all this and what are they doing about it? And why aren't they following Judicial Watch's lead? The president generally knows what's going on here. He seems the only politician in town willing to talk about it directly.